Never again. We're going to first remind you what we actually had for sale in this epic garage sale. And then we're going to tell you what really happened and why I'm never doing this again. We got a good start. It's actually noon. People did not show up early. Now, in other parts of the country and across the US, I hear resellers talking all the time about how people show up super early. So I guess we got a lot of polite folks here. There were 2 Squishmallows up on that top shelf, which I sold to a very cute little girl for $4 just to get rid of them. Remember those huge ones? They are gone. We set up these clothing racks, as you can see here, so people can really dig in there and see what's what. We've got our baby blankets, haven't sold one yet. I think they're a pretty good price at $2 each, but we'll see. Now, I must fess up that we did not have all of our pricing done. It took so long to get everything out, as I'm sure you all know. Look at this little beauty. No takers yet. Then we've got our pots and pans, which are now priced. And
this one is not for sale.
Nope. My number one helper. We've got, this is stuff that we're just putting out now, which is actually only my personal stuff. Some furniture. You might remember these mirrors over here from a bins trip if you've watched a previous video. Got some artwork, needlepoint. We sold our unbranded fake Nintendo for $5 more than I bought it for when I realized it was a mistake, and I got a strike on my eBay account for posting it. Got some controllers, shelf set. These are not going to be on eBay. Super heavy cast iron fireplace andirons. Traffic going by. And then we've got, these are personal, just lamps, computer stuff. And this gorgeous, beautiful desk that, again, if you've been with me since the beginning, you might remember me finding that. I just thought, you know what, for a lark, let's throw it out there for $7.50. You can see I've got a sold comp from Etsy for $2,200. Beautiful medicine cabinets. We have been selling a fair amount of shoes, although you can't really tell from how many are left. Charging flat $5 each, and I'll make a deal if somebody buys more than one. A little bit more clothes. Then we have our sports section and bigger things. So suitcase, we've got a old school hiking backpack there. A few pieces of sports stuff. We have been selling books at a clip. So this is my own personal, oops, there's my price tags. My own personal book collection. You may recall from another video when Nathan cleaned out my bookshelves. And so look at how nicely he's organized all of these. And they're selling like hotcakes. We've got some small purses and handbags in there. A few more here, big items down there. And more clothes right here. I'm gonna put a sign. And then some kitchen goods. So we do have, I think, a fair amount for sale between my personal stuff and all of the flippity-flipped inventory we're trying to unload here. So all in all, so far so good. Hopefully we get more sales this afternoon. Apparently our signage is luring people in, so that's good. In today's video, we're going to spend about 5 seconds telling you what went well. It wasn't zero.
Yeah, a small amount of good stuff.
And then we'll explain where things went off the rails, why we're never doing this again. Ready?
Yep. Okay.
Woo-hoo.
This is a small thing. We had signs put up, and people really liked them. They kept saying whenever they'd come by that, oh, your signs made it really easy to find your place.
Yeah, great signs. We got numerous compliments on the signs. We had balloons at the end of the driveway so people could immediately spot us. So finding it was not the problem.
Right.
The weather was beautiful.
It was a great day.
We had a great day, considering how much rain, unseasonable amount of rain we've had in Calgary. That went really well.
We had it nicely laid out so everyone could see everything, as you saw.
Very professionally organized, I would say. We had signage. Maybe that's something we could have done better. On big ticket items, there was like pricing, but small stuff wasn't ready in time.
Yeah, there's no way to predict how long it'll take you to do something, and so probably for the first hour and a bit, we didn't have tags or signs on it. We just had to talk to everyone about pricing.
The books, because I was getting rid of all my personal books, so this is not really to do with reselling, but just decluttering. Nathan had a big table, and he had organized them all. We used bricks as bookends, and he organized them by author and by genre, and it was like people were like going to the library. They were loving it.
Yeah, it was something I dealt with earlier in the summer when we needed to access another shelf to put some breakables on it, so I just took out all the books.
So again, it wasn't all like complete failure. We did some things well, but the outcome?
Not worth it. Not worth the amount of time.
Worth it. So between the two of us, we spent at least 40 hours deciding what items we were going to sell, prepping those items, getting tables, going to the bank, going to the storage unit to get bins of clothing and things out of there. What else did we do? Making this beautiful signs that we put up all around the neighborhood.
Yeah, that took about an hour.
I did Facebook postings into different garage sale groups and, local seller groups to try and, get more visibility for the sale. All of that to say it was probably way more than 40 hours, but we're going to use 40. So a lot of work. And of course, as you would know, a lot of physical effort, just moving all these heavy totes and bins and tables and stuff like that. So
yeah, by the end of the day, we'll roll a clip of how tired we were.
You'll see at the end what we ended up doing when it was finally over.
You guys want to know what we're on our way to?
After a long day,
McDonald's. It's like the perfect thing that you could ever do at, what is it, 8:43.
Long day.
13 hours to be specific.
So a lot of work. Not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. Funny thing is, I remember having a garage sale like 3 houses ago, at least 20 years ago, and I'm pretty sure now that I remember myself saying then, never again. But clearly I forgot, and we did it again.
So right? if she comes back when she's in her 70s and she tells you guys that she wants to do a garage sale, do not let her.
I've already told him, if I start getting old and forgetting things, please remind me if you ever hear me say the word, I'm having a garage sale. Anyway, what you're all dying to know is what actually happened. What are the results? So that's why I've got my computer here, my trusty spreadsheet. You all know I love spreadsheets. So bottom line it. Let's give you the numbers. As far as dollar amount goes, because there was 2 goals here. One, try to make a bit of money, sure, because I am a reseller after all. But 2,
get rid of stuff.
Offload a bunch of items, right? Give them a new home. Give them sort of one last shot to be sold before they get, donated or gifted or whatever comes next. So bottom line, for flippity-flipped items, meaning specifically items I purchased for resale, we sold $379.10 worth. For my personal items, because if you're having a garage sale, you might as well do a bit of decluttering at the same time, I sold $50.50 worth of my own stuff that was in a donate pile ready to leave the house. Grand total, drum roll, $429.60.
Which sounds good on paper.
Not bad. Like when you think about, hey, that's $430. But when you think about I paid for those items. These are not just freebies that I've had around the house for 20 years. When we actually take the flippity flip, $379, and because I am a legally incorporated business, I have to net off sales tax and remit that to the government, even for cash sales. So I'm doing everything above board, by the books. So we have to net off it's called GST, goods and services tax, 5%. Then we have net sales. Then I have to subtract the cost of goods, which I did spend many hours on Sunday going through my inventory spreadsheet to kind of match it up, make sure that everything was, all documented. Bottom line, ready for it? you already know that we started the video and put it in the title. $101.80 net profit. So now when we go 40 hours, $2.50 an hour? I don't think so. Not worth it, right? Never mind the money we had to spend on Advil because my muscles were so sore and we were just like
I don't know
exhausted.
if that's a huge part of it.
I know. I'm just joking about that. So, $100. Now, that's not all bad news. I did recoup $260 that I had spent on inventory. So I did recoup that money back on those items. I didn't tell you how many items. So there were a total of 109 flippity flipped items that sold and 13 personal items. So grand total 122 items sold.
But we had way more than
we had probably more than 500.
Yeah.
600. Like I would say of what we sold, we had 5 to 6, maybe even 7 times that much available for sale that did not sell. That's the downer here.
And
right?
maybe if we had like 2 days or a bit more time, then more things would have gone. And it was great, you know, to see people buying. Like some families, they just came and got a whole bunch of clothes or shoes or whatever.
Yeah. I do feel good about that. You're right.
It was nice.
Like, and you know, little kids that come to the garage sale, they're immediately honing in. Are there any toys? Are there any, you know? And so, you know, letting them buy a little toy. A huge Squishmallow. If you saw another earlier video of mine, you know I had 2 gigantic Squishmallows. I sold them for $1 each because the kids wanted them. And I'm like, you know what? If I can, first off, get these huge things out of my house, but secondly, make some kid happy for $1, why not? They were like, $1? So that put a smile on my face. And you're right. Like families, people buying clothing, you know, and again, we're saving stuff from a landfill potentially, getting it a new home. So
yeah,
that was positive.
There were just a lot of one-offs and kind of small things, you know, negotiating with people. It's always an interesting experience to see how much are people really going to be willing to pay for something.
Yeah, and generally speaking, like I was given deals all over the place, like $1, $2, $3, unless it was a real big ticket item. All clothing, $3. Like, doesn't matter brand names. And it's hilarious. At the end of the day, this one slipped by me and got onto the rack, didn't get purchased. A Burberry women's blazer jacket. I mean, that thing is worth a lot more than $3. There was some Lulu left on the rack.
Yep.
There was like, so brand names, I was like, people do not know these brands, or they would have, obviously no resellers were in the house because they would have sniffed that out in a heartbeat. So everybody knows at garage sales that people are not expecting to pay eBay prices, right? Now, there was a couple of specialty items I had out there that I put comps on, and I was actually laughing at myself because I watch a lot of reseller videos, and I think like Homeschooling Picker and maybe even, I'm trying to think who goes to a lot of garage sales. They always give a little chuckle when they see somebody printing out like an eBay comp in their garage sale. It was a sold comp. I'm just going to put it out there. Anyway, just to show the value.
Most people don't seem to value comps too much when it comes to a garage sale.
Well, because they expect to pay like $5 for something that's worth $500. Not happening, at least not at my garage sale. But I will say this, the folks who came to our garage sales, especially in the earlier part, we started at 9, and here's another shocker, nobody came early. Do we have I mean, y'all know Canadians are kind of have a reputation for being polite, but I would say Calgary takes it to another level. Not one person showed up early for the garage sale, which was a surprise to me. Anyway, what I was going to say is when we had items priced, which was a little bit like around 10 o'clock, not 9, people were generally quite happy to pay the $1, $2, $3. We weren't overpricing anything, I don't think. We were being very like general. All clothing, $3. All shoes, $5. And then as every individual person walked up, I would always, you know, greet them and then tell them that if you buy more than one thing, I'm making deals. We'll make you a deal. And so, you know, generally people were quite, you know, pleased and weren't really haggling. There was only a couple people that haggled.
A couple odd cases.
And so I want to walk you through my thought process. So one lady, I had a set of 2 saucepans, very heavy duty stainless steel, not all clad, but a good decent brand name. And I had them marked at $5 each. So 10 for the 2, no lids, And she was like, you know, would you take 5? I'm like, oh my word. Like, they're worth way more than $10. So, I mean, I have all, and this is all happening in a split second, but this is what's going through my head. Like, good grief, they're worth way more than $10. And I'm like, $5 for 2 pans, that's like $2.50 each. And I'm like, but wait a minute, I've had them for over a year and a half. They've never yet been listed because I haven't got around to it. They don't have lids. They take up a huge amount of space to store. Okay, sure, $5 would be great, right? This is all happening in a split second in my head. You know, that was one that haggled. And then there was one guy, and it was mainly just sort of his attitude that for whatever reason, maybe it was late in the day, we had a table of small little wallets, little kid backpacks, a bunch of like laptop neoprene sleeves or zipper laptop sleeves. There was a briefcase that was from when I used to work. It actually came with my new laptop and was never used, black. Anyway, he comes up with these 2 items. One had a price on it of $1. The other one was priced at $2, the briefcase. And he said, $2. I'm like, it's 1 and 2, so $3. He's like, no, $2. I'm like, no, $3. Because I was like, now you just
pay an extra
I'm
$1.
like, it's a brand new briefcase, dude. So for whatever reason, that one got under my skin. And he walked away, and I was kind of like, fine, you know what? For $2, I'm willing to lose a sale. It's not going to make or break me, that's for sure. Anyway, he came back and gave me $3. So I felt a little momentary victory with that one.
Yeah, and we can see it from both sides where, you know, people don't want to pay too much. But at the same time, really, like, you're lowballing someone that much.
My sort of underlying premise was, if I can hopefully, overall, not every individual item, but overall, if I can make my money back on the items I sold, then at least that's not a loss to the business. We did, as we say, end up making about $100 profit. So, you know, purely from the numbers, that sounds good. It's really all about the effort that went into it, because there's a lot involved, right?
And especially afterwards.
There's your time. You're literally, you know, we were starting by 7 in the morning to get everything set up, get the tables out, get all the items out, get everything, you know, arranged. Clothing racks. Came up with a brilliant hack, by the way. I'm not saying I invented this, but I have, you know, those black tall shelves that many people have in their garage. I bought them at Costco. They were like on sale for $30. And I thought, if we take a broom handle and put it like the shelves that far apart and then zip tie the ends of the broom handles on each of the shelves, I've just created myself a hanging rack. Because, you know, we assumed, and I think it proved to be true, clothing will definitely sell a lot better if it's hanging up and people can, you know, go through it versus digging through a bin or a box or a pile. So anyway, we did a lot of things, I think, really well. We just had way too much stuff. There wasn't enough people. Should have been 2 days, but there's no way we were going to be into it for a second day.
It was a 13-hour day.
Yep.
And if we were to do it again, we would have had to bring everything back outside.
Right. That's another point. Like, I keep calling it garage sale because that's the term that most people use. It was technically a yard sale. It was in my driveway and my front yard because I didn't want people in my garage. It's not big enough for the amount of items we had, and there's just way too much personal stuff in there. So it was actually a yard sale. To your point, if we were going to do 2 days, we'd be hauling it all in and bringing it all back out. And not going to happen. But let me talk to you for just a minute about the other things you have to do. So the sale's over, right? We said 4 p.m. We closed her down just after 4 p.m. So number 1, takedown. You got to box up, put in bins, fold up, you know, put away all the items that didn't sell. In my case, couldn't just load them on in the car and take them to the donate bin because I needed to, for anything that's flippity flipped related, get it out of my spreadsheet first. I got to know what I've sold and what I still have left when I'm maintaining an inventory. So that's 1. 2, just tear down all the tables and disassemble our fabulous clothing hanging racks and things like that. And then
put it all back into the totes.
Put it all back in the totes. Store it all in the garage because at this point, you know, it's almost dinner time. We're exhausted and we just can't make decisions on everything instantly. And then because I'm a eBay reseller, well, a reseller in general, anything that did sell that was actually listed on my eBay store or in my Poshmark closet or on Marketplace, I got to make sure I got to take those listings down right away. The last thing you want to do when you're an eBay seller is have someone purchase something on eBay that you just had somebody walk out your driveway with. So I had to get all that done.
And you
take the signs,
your spreadsheet.
Right?
Yeah, we took the signs.
Yep. So you'll see, I guess we'll put up a little screenshot of the treat that we had after we took the signs down, right?
Yep.
You scored on that one.
It was good.
That was one highlight of the day. Yep. And then when all was said and done, of course, we're starving. So all in all, let me see, do I have any other stats? Oh, I do. I have a couple stats of what sold that didn't sell on my online selling. So we had 12 items that I had to delist from eBay because they sold here. We had 15 items that I had to delist off of Poshmark. Some of these overlap. And 18 items that I ended my listing on Marketplace. Now, one little funny thing that I did as we were packing up, maybe not funny, but I would say clever, is when I was packing up the books, because they're definitely getting donated, I thought to myself, as I'm putting them in the boxes, and as I say, Nathan had them so nicely organized, I thought, I wonder if I just put up like a super quick Facebook listing, Marketplace, if anyone would buy them. So I put 15 books, spy novels, intrigue, that kind of thing, Tom Clancy, David Balducci, like famous, well-known authors. And I just made a list. I took one photo of the books lined up by their spines in the box, and I put a listing up that said 15 books for $15. Pick up in blank, my neighborhood. And I said, it's these exact 15 books for $15. And wouldn't you know it, within 24 hours, a lady messages me, I'll take these books. I'm like, okay, that's a lot easier selling than what was happening at the garage sale. So I took a box of extra books, and when you know, she bought them too. So 25 bucks for 25 books that were otherwise going to be donated. And she runs one of those community lending libraries that people have in their front lawn. I think people have that all over North America, maybe in Europe too. Anyway, I was more than happy to give her all these books for $1 each, and happy to get them out of my garage, 2 less things. So yeah, all in all, would not do it again.
No, too long.
Call it an experiment that will not be repeated, right? But at the end of the day, I want to show you something behind me that we did accomplish. So when things were slow in the afternoon, Nathan has been working on cutting down my hedge. It used to be about 9 feet tall and about 6 feet wide and needed like a major haircut. So Nathan was able to work on that in the afternoon when we didn't have too many buyers at the garage sale, and got it done. And it looks fantastic.
We just need to get rid of the branches now.
Exactly. Well, my green compost bin is getting emptied today. So in fact, you may have even heard a truck go by somewhere in the background of this video, and then we'll load it up again and it'll be all done.
Yep.
So tell me in the comments, have you ever had a garage sale? Would you do it again? As always, we so appreciate you watching. The channel's doing so well. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button. Come on, you want to come back. You want to watch more. So stay tuned, and we'll bring you lots more thrifting adventures and reselling adventures to come. Bye. Bonus clip, if you're still here, I told Nathan that I think since we got so many compliments on our garage sale signs that I'm going to put a little ad up on Marketplace and see if anybody wants to buy a whole package of signs. He thought I was, starting to lose my mind at the end of the day, but what do you think? If you're in the Calgary area, would you buy these beautiful signs? All right, see you later. Bye.